Good morning, everyone. For our performance task 6, TED Talk or informative speech entitled COVID-19 Tourism Impact, the hardest hit among the most damaged global industries. I would like to introduce my members, VALENE Rose Bejo, Jericho EPINO, Jazmine Obra, and of course myself, Dana Salanga. Last but not the least, AIRALYN TINIO.
Morning to all of you. I am grateful that we are still alive and God gave us the chance to survive in our everyday lives despite the many challenges that surround us as well as the widespread disease. Our life was happy even though we had encountered a lot of trials and problems. But when COVID-19 struck in the Philippines, our life becomes different. Everything seems complicated because the world has changed a lot. We used to be free to go out, to, to go to different destinations, to roam. But in a flash, everything changed. And the sudden change was caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. None of us wants this to happen. But if it is destined to happen, we cannot stop it. One of the most affected is the tourism industry, which contributes significantly to our country's economy. By March 2020, it has become strict to travel home to various provinces even when leaving our country. Furthermore, because of the pandemic, the government strictly enforced travel restrictions, especially going to different destinations, as it is believed the tourism and leisure industry has faced the COVID-19 tourism impacts hardest hit and lies among the most damaged global industries. In addition, the rate of the economy dropped due to the restrictions implemented. Yet, we cannot blame the government because it is for everyone's safety.
On May 20, President Duterte announced to close all airports in Luzon as part of the enhanced community quarantine. The pandemic brought a huge wave of negative impact to the part of tourism. Travel restrictions and measures have started in the first month of 2020 in other countries to prevent the transmission of the virus. Domestic flights have limited their travel to prevent the spread of COVID-19. World Tourism Organization estimated that 100 to 120 million jobs will be put at risk. The closing of airports and hotels, restrictions on mass gathering, land travel, and related works around the world have been also affected by the waves of pandemic.
In the view that tours can unfold contamination danger and maximum governments ready imposed tour bans, unlimited diver outside activities. The tour and enjoyment industries quickly felt the excessive effects of the virus according to Maclean 2020. Since COVID-19, everyone is worried about having a visitor because they be ill or infected with the virus. People want safety because it spreads so fast and there's no cure. Not everything is stopped, but this pandemic is destroying business and causing huge unemployment. The COVID-19 pandemic has already lost many jobs and businesses, not just the tourism sector.
As tourism is one of the economic sectors, it is also the most affected sector due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It affects the economies, livelihood, and opportunities in other countries. According to UNTWHO, due to pandemic, there is a massive impact on the livelihood that many jobs were at risk. And as many as 100 million tourism jobs were at risk. In addition, one of the effects of the pandemic on tourism is cutting the fund for the biodiversity because of the sudden fall of tourism, and because of those jobs at risk and decreasing the tourists as well as the staff or workers has led to an increase in the unlawful doings.
To summarize, the COVID-19 epidemic is the world's largest pandemic in the last 100 years, wreaking havoc on the global economy, individual nations' economies, and particularly the tourism industry. These negative effects have been caused by the initial draconian restrictions on mobility imposed by most governments. which have paralyzed a large portion of productive and service activity, as well as transportation cross-border movements, and have halted tourists' travel around the world. The gone disposable income of many families who have seen their earnings evaporate or decrease for a long time will reduce tourist spending capacity, even when confinement and mobility restrictions are made more flexible, at least in the short and medium term. The issue and trends facing every tourism and hospitality industry in the midst of a pandemic are not easy, but they become brave and believe that this also challenges that they need to overcome. And it is important to recognize the diversity of the industry and the significant contribution of tourism to economic and social value. There is so much left to do better educate the tourism industry, other sectors, and the general public about how tourism contributes to our country. Always remember, the hospitality industry provides the goods and services for their client with their various service. And tourism may serve their full effort for their clients and always be positive. And still, the industry needs to improve its service to achieve its target of their industry. If they improve, all the customers will get happy and will enjoy the service. So that would be all. Thank you so much for lending your ears.